Two teams, one spot in the madness. UTEP and Western Kentucky. Who will be the Conference USA champion? Run out, hammer dunk, UTEP in command. Dougie Fresh again. You're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. From Huntsville, Alabama, we've reached the championship game of the Conference USA Tournament. An improbable matchup between the 5-seed UTEP Miners and the 3-seed Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. In the Conference USA Tournament, Western Kentucky has rolled with 2 huge wins. Meanwhile, UTEP has come from behind to beat the number 1 seed Sam Houston in the semifinal after a quarterfinal win over the 4-seed Liberty. With Tiffany Blackman, Avery Johnson, I'm Carter Blackburn, and the scenario is this in Conference USA. Only one team is going. It's either UTEP or Western Kentucky.
And I'm thrilled for both of these teams because they have a chance to advance to the NCAA tournament with a win and not only get in, but potentially make some noise. Both of these teams are that good.
Western Kentucky is the top scoring team in Conference USA, one of the quickest tempo teams in all of college basketball. Yesterday, they did it with a 3-ball.
Yeah, it's also they're a team that can shoot the 3. They had 5 different players make at least 1 3. They do a good job of penetrating and pitching. Nice spacing here. Landers knocked down the 3 with the left hand. Do a really good job of just making the defense pay, especially on the backside.
For a major injury update for Western Kentucky, let's check in with Tiffany.
Hey guys, the big question coming into tonight's game was the status of Western Kentucky's Dante Allen. He left yesterday's win against Middle Tennessee with a right knee injury after playing just 5 minutes. He did undergo an MRI. It was negative, but he was diagnosed with a bone bruise. Now, Coach Steve Lutz told us that he's a game-time decision, and he said the ball is in Allen's court when it comes to whether or not he'll play. But guys, watching warm-ups, he did not participate. I watched him gingerly move around, cheering on his teammates, and based on what I saw, guys, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to go tonight.
That's a major blow for Western Kentucky. Meanwhile, for the UTEP Miners, when you're the 5 seed and you make a run to the championship game, it has already been a momentous tournament for the UTEP Miners. They were down 12 against Liberty in the quarterfinals, came back and won with a dominant run in the second half. Same thing versus Sam Houston, down by 14 points, closing on a 23-5 run over the next 9 minutes to beat the number 1 seed Sam Houston. UTEP does it with aggressive D.
Yeah, UTEP is the leader of the nation in steals, and I call them a no excuse team. When they get beat, they continue on plays, very active hands on the ball, first to the floor for 50-50 balls, and they capitalize on your mistakes and they score in transition.
These two teams split in the regular season, home and home, so the 3rd meeting of the year between UTEP and Western Kentucky for a chance to dance. UTEP and Western Kentucky both seeking their first Conference USA tournament title, but both these head coaches have NCAA tournament experience. Joe Golding, now in his 3rd season coaching UTEP, took Abilene Christian to the NCAA tournament twice with 2 Southland tourney titles, and then beat 3-seed Texas in the 2021 NCAA tournament. We take a look at today's starting lineups, brought to you by Kubota. Tay Hardy, the impact scorer for the UTEP Miners, plays 33 minutes a game tops in Conference USA, had 18 and 5 before fouling out versus Sam Houston. We told you about the impact injury for Western Kentucky. Dante Allen is not in the starting lineup. Christian Lander, coming off a 15-point performance off the bench, will be in the starting 5 for Western Kentucky. And head coach Steve Lutz, in his 1st season coaching Western Kentucky, he took Texas A&M Corpus Christi to the Southland Conference Tournaments titles in each of the last 2 years, and a first 4 win over Southeast Missouri State. So Two head coaches who know each other well. They go way back, Joe Golding and Steve Lutz, as we take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Ace, the helpful place.
Yeah, when you think about UTEP, they got to defend the three-point line because you're talking about a Western Kentucky team that made 11 threes. They got to live at the line because they're not a great outside shooting team. Get to the paint, get to the free throw line. Western Kentucky, take care of the ball security. And I believe as Western Kentucky can get 5 players in double figures, it'll increase their chances of winning this game and being successful.
And you think that's a possibility, 5 in double figures for the Hilltoppers. Neither team has won a Conference USA tournament. UTEP 0-2. They lost in 2010 when they went to the NCAA tournament as an at-large. Meanwhile, Western Kentucky 0-3 in the Conference USA title game. 3 straight conference title championship losses. Of course, there was no CUSA tournament title game in 2020. So 18, 19, and 21. They combined 0-5 in Conference USA tournament titles. UTEP last won a conference tournament in the WAC in 2005. Western Kentucky won the Sun Belt in 2012 and 2013. In the regular season, each team won on its home floor, but UTEP did a good job of scoring with this high-octane Western Kentucky offense. We'll see if the Miners can keep pace again today. With a Conference USA title and a spot in the NCAA tournament, UTEP begins with the ball in the hands of Zid Powell.
We'll see if they're going to look to play inside out or get some sort of isolation play for Tay Hardy to start this game. Tay Hardy obviously got to stay out of foul trouble tonight. He fouled out in that last game.
Hardy had 27 points in the win over Western Kentucky and 4 steals. Maybe you mentioned the amazing steals numbers. They had 12 versus Sam Houston. Aggressive D all day long from UTEP.
Never give up on plays. And here's the ISO I was talking about for Hardy.
Tries to drop it off, nearly taken away. Shot clock winding down. Zid Powell will have to heave it. Follow up off the miss. How about a third chance? Finally, a tie-up jump ball will get it to Western Kentucky. So UTEP gets 3 looks on the opening possession.
That ball didn't even hit the rim.
No, so the shot clock should not have been reset, although it was.
And rebound is going to be a big key. Obviously, with Western Kentucky, they shot the ball so well from the field. They only had 7 offensive rebounds compared to UTEP's 11 offensive rebounds.
Don McHenry, number 2 for Western Kentucky, their leading scorer, first team All-Conference USA. Here's Lander in tight, the senior who gets the start in place of Dante Allen, coming off the 15-point performance versus Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, and there's really no drop-off because Lander, he was exceptional in that last game, and he is a starter.
Into the corner. The first 3 is a miss off the hands of Otis Frazier III. McHenry and the Hilltoppers will push tempo at every chance.
And it's pretty cool when you have a guy like Landers that comes off the bench with Rodney Howard, who will be in soon.
Newman leaves it short, boarded by Zid Powell. Corey Camper Jr. had 19 in the win over the 1 seed Sam Houston. The 2 seed in the Conference USA tournament, Louisiana Tech, lost in the quarters.
Nice block.
Babacar Fa, the junior from Senegal, gets the block shot.
And a lot of times when you're playing against a shot blocker who's 3/4 in the post, you may have to use that pump fake in that situation. Couldn't really reverse lay up there with his left hand because there was some weak side help, but a little bit of a pump fake, get the big fella off of his feet.
Back into the hands of Tay Hardy, the senior from Ellenwood, Georgia. Hardy finds Zid Powell. That's a shot clock violation as UTEP doesn't get a shot off. That's a second turnover by the Miners.
Now remember, aggressively here, a little bit of a collision. That could have easily been a foul.
Western Kentucky over 20 wins for the 48th time in program history.
In Western Kentucky, on those pick and rolls, they're going to jump it really hard.
McHenry attacks, floats, and a tough runner for Don McHenry. 4-0 start for the Hilltoppers. When Western Kentucky beat UTEP in Bowling Green, McHenry had 25 points, 11 from the free throw line. Frazier bumped on the way to the hoop.
Yeah, when you first team all Conference USA, this is the type of moves you make. He knows how to score the ball. He's a professional scorer.
Henry gets the foul on the other end. First personal.
Broke out of a little three-game shooting slump in the last game, so that was nice to see.
Frazier, the junior from Buckeye, Arizona. Joe Golding is effusive in his praise of this team. Big-time roster turnover for UTEP this year. He really likes this bunch of minors. Talked about the defense for UTEP. It turns into 16 fast break points a game. That is third most in the nation.
And he said they struggled a little bit on the road, and they had a breakthrough game against Jacksonville State, but he really loves the confidence of his team and the chemistry.
Lander launches a three. Boarded by Corey Camper Jr. Taken away by Christian Lander. And getting it right back is Camper. So a steal for both sides. Rejected inside. Blocked by Tyrone Marshall Jr.
Yeah, a little slot replay here from both teams.
Baugh kicks out. Three ball won't go for Marshall.
I'm just blown away a lot of times with UTEP. You think they're beat on the play, and they're like defensive backs and cornerbacks. They come out of nowhere to steal passes.
0 for 5 shooting start for UTEP. Camper backing down, ripped away by McHenry. McHenry draws two defenders. Baugh spinning inside, off the glass for Babacar Baugh.
And this is the wrong team to turn the ball over. UTEP cannot turn the ball over against this team. They play too fast. An offensive juggernaut. They lead Conference USA in scoring, 80.5 points a game.
Amazingly, 4 turnovers and nearly a fifth already for UTEP. And now Hardy rejected again, a run out. Newman, Marshall lost it. Baugh picks it up, dunks it down. An 8-2 start for Western Kentucky.
And Coach Golding, we talked to him before the game, and he said, we got to avoid scoring droughts because, you know, this is a team that can go on a 14-0 run Western Kentucky with the best of them.
Powell misses. There's a follow. Finally, the first bucket, Kalu. Wipe out the bucket. It's an 8-2 Western Kentucky lead as you're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Together we do more. By AT&T. We believe connecting changes everything. And by Ace, the helpful place.
An 8-2 start for Western Kentucky, an ugly offensive beginning for UTEP. We talked about UTEP's defense, but the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers have D'd it up early.
Yeah, the Hilltoppers D'd it up with block shots. There are 3 blocks to start the game, 3 steals. And when you're blocking shots and getting steals and converting in transition, that's why they had 8 points in the paint to start this game. So ball security is very important. You don't want to beat yourself. You're limiting your opportunities to get free throws, threes, offensive rebounds, where you never get a shot at the basket.
Kevin Kalu finally get the ball in the hoop for UTEP, and it was wiped out with an offensive foul. Out of the timeout, Tyrone Marshall Jr. makes it an early 8-point Western Kentucky lead.
Man, and that's really going to loosen up this UTEP defense and set up 3-point shots and shooting attempts for Western Kentucky.
David Terrell Jr. launches an air ball. It is an 0 for 8 shooting start for UTEP. Terrell, the freshman of the year, coming off the bench with an air ball.
Yeah, Western Kentucky, they just look like the fresher team right now. used a lot of energy to win that game on yesterday.
Well, this is maybe a little bit too early to point out. They have come from double-digit behind twice so far in this tournament, but down 8 early, and nothing is going right for UTEP. 0 for 8 shooting with 4 turnovers.
And we talked to Coach Lutz about, being the fresher team, especially since they had a large margin of victory. He wasn't able to overuse anyone.
Tegan Moore, the freshman from Dry Ridge, Kentucky, off the bench for Western Kentucky. They will go deep into the bench. Haven't seen Dante Allen yet. Moore misses in tight. Fights for the offensive rebound. Ripped away by Tay Hardy for UTEP. Hardy pulls up. Another miss, 0 for 9 from the floor. Run down by Terrell Jr. to keep it alive, but out of bounds to Western Kentucky. Team up, hang on, take the ride. PBR teams coming this July. That's Dante Allen on the bench, the senior who averages over 8 points for Western Kentucky, but out with an injured knee. And what was a game-time decision doesn't bode well for Dante Allen playing for Western Kentucky.
But the consolation prize for Western Kentucky, Rodney Howard, the Conference USA 6th Man of the Year. If you see the game.
Newman tries a 3. There's the first triple for Western Kentucky, and it's a double-digit lead. 9-0 run, Hilltoppers.
Brandon Newman was 3 for 3 from 3 in the last game.
That's a foul called in tight. Looks like it's on Colombe. It'll be his first personal. Getting tangled up with Derek Hamilton.
See, a lot of times when you're in that hard 3-quarter front in the post, your weak side bottom man must be in position to try to force that skip pass.
UTEP goes small ball a lot. That's part of the aggressive defensive mentality. So Hamilton comes off the bench as the big man, but he only plays 7 minutes a game.
Well, he played 13 minutes on yesterday, and had 9 points. Did a nice job.
So the only 4 points of the game for UTEP have come from the foul line. Still 0 for from the floor. Lander running point. Colombe stops in the paint, turns around and misses. Rebound by Calvin Solomon.
Looked like he got away with a little travel. Look for Western to really shrink their defense.
Another turnover. That's turnover number 5 by the Miners.
You notice Western Kentucky, they're closing out short to UTEP. They want to force UTEP to try to beat them over the top. Nice backdoor pass.
Tegan Moore finishes it off. Timeout UTEP as Western Kentucky is dominant early in the Conference USA title game. A double-digit lead for the Hilltoppers on UTEP. Jersey Mike's is the proud title sponsor of the Naismith Men's Player of the Year Award. Join us over Final Four weekend as we highlight this year's winners right here on CBS Sports Network. Carter Blackburn, Avery Johnson, Tiffany Blackman from Huntsville, Alabama, where Western Kentucky is red hot to start and the UTEP Miners are ice cold.
Little full court pressure to start, now backing up into their half court defense, Western Kentucky.
7 minutes in, UTEP doesn't have a made field goal. There's another turnover. Newman, run out, Euro off the window, 17-4.
Was he going to Paris? Or was he going London? That was a nice Euro step. And right now, Western Kentucky has 10 points off of UTEP's turnovers. UTEP has a donut, 0.
And 6 turnovers. Almost the 7th reach-in foul called on Rodney Howard.
Active hands here, playing the passing lanes. That's not just on the passer. The guy that's receiving the ball, his teammate, he's got to get to a point of no return is what we've called it, and now go back door because your defender is out of position.
When you've turned it over 6 times in 7.5 minutes, there's plenty of blame to go around.
Yes.
Terrell into the paint, kick out. Frazier tries a 3. 0 for 10 shooting start, including 0 for 4 from 3.
Yeah, they're playing right into Western Kentucky hands. You got to make that extra pass. This is their game.
Finally a run out chance, and Frazier has the first bucket for UTEP. 8 minutes in, UTEP has its first field goal.
Yeah, and when UTEP gets back on offense, look for freshman Trey Horton III to get a little bit more involved. He can knock down the 3.
Moore's 3 spins out, boarded by Frazier. Here's Terrell Jr.
They missed him. He was open in the left corner.
Down to Hamilton, who lost it. Back into the hands of Terrell. And here's Horton for 3, just as you predicted, Avery. The freshman from Charlotte first made 3 for UTEP.
Oh, great hustle.
Great hustle by Hardy to get back. And now Tay Hardy pushes the Miners.
He's got Horton open.
Lost him. That was touch. Scooped up by Newman for Western Kentucky. Then Terrell gets it back. UTEP wins the battle for the loose ball. Lob to Frazier, who gets fouled by Colombe. That'll be the second on Colombe. Well, it took 8 minutes for UTEP to finally get a bucket. Appropriately enough, off a steal. Frazier dunks it down as you're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Western Kentucky has an early 17-9 lead on UTEP here in Huntsville, Alabama. Moments ago, Tiffany Blackman spoke with Steve Lutz.
Coach Lutz, the defensive intensity has been there. It's been leading to points for you guys. How have you been able to set the tone?
Well, I think that our guys are playing extremely hard. Obviously, we've kind of denied them on entering the ball where they want to enter it, and we've gotten some runouts and some steals, which has helped ignite our offense. So, now we've just got to figure out a way to do it for the next 30 minutes.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
So we talked all about UTEP being the steals team, and here it is. Western Kentucky's outdoing them with 5 steals and 10 points off of turnovers.
And that's creating easy baskets off steals. That's very helpful when you can score when a team doesn't have an opportunity to get their defense set. It's so hard, especially when you're playing a team for the 3rd time. You basically know all of their set plays. That's just like somewhat of a NBA playoff series. At some point, you can tell a guy if he's out of position, he'll need to be in another spot. But hey, here's our guy Horton. Horton talked about.
Second made 3. It's an 8-0 run for UTEP.
He's the one guy that can get really hot from behind that 3-point line, and UTEP desperately needs 3-point shooting.
He made 13 threes during the regular season. He's made 3 triples here in the conference tournament in Huntsville.
Yeah, and they tried to run like a little bit of a screen door play. Western Kentucky did a good job of sniffing it out, but he still made that contested 3.
Personal foul was on Tay Hardy. First team foul on UTEP. Here's McHenry, misses the 3, into the hands of Hardy, running the Miners. Tay Hardy, kick to Terrell Jr. Nice look inside, Kalu dunks it down.
And that's what happens with big guys. Hey, if you want to eat, Kalu knows rim run every single time. His teammates are going to find him if he's open.
The Miners charge back with a 10-0 run. Good feed inside, and Howard finishes the Conference USA 6th Man of the Year, former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket and Georgia Bulldog.
In Western Kentucky, I know they realize, independent of how UTEP looks, they're never out of the game.
Horton finally misses a 3. Fight for the rebound, won by Lander. Christian Lander, Marshall on to Tegan Moore. Howard wants it at the post, but Kalu with the front, knocked away. Good defense on the help side from Frazier.
And that's where UTEP wants to bring that double team. That's a charge.
It is offensive foul called on Otis Frazier. 8th turnover by UTEP.
So on post defense, some teams like to double team from the top, but UTEP's going to trap from the bottom. And right here on that drive, you got to come to a 2-foot jump stop. The play is over. Find your teammate. Just make the easy play.
Reddit Teagan Moore would take in the charge for the All-CUSA freshman team. Terrell almost went for the steal on McHenry. Now McHenry backs out, gets a screen from Fa. Aggressive D from the Miners. Lander lost the handle, gets it back. Lost it on the way up, taken away by Solomon. Here's a run out for Hardy. Off the steal, Tay Hardy with the bucket. Timeout Western Kentucky as the Miners come charging back. It's a 3-point game. We step aside for 30 seconds. Joe Golding's UTEP Miners have made it to the Conference USA Championship game with huge come-from-behind runs. This one presently is a 12-2 run to whittle what was a 13-point lead down to 3.
Utah's never out. UTEP is never out of it. Just when you think you have a comfortable lead, here they come. They started off 0 for 10. Now they're 5 for 6 since they started off 0 for 10.
Coming out of the Western Kentucky timeout, Don McHenry runs the offense through Babacar Fa. Oh, with a handle. Shot fake. Nice move from the big man. Marshall is fouled on the stick back. It's on Tay Hardy, and that is his second. So Hardy is in foul trouble again for the Miners. And he'll have to come out of the game with 8:51 to go in the first.
Yeah, Babacar Fa, he was really good on yesterday. 11 points in 18 minutes. Kid from Senegal, we talked about that.
Played 2 years at the College of Charleston.
That's a hold.
Now another.
Yeah, that's on Kalu.
And that'll be his second. Getting tangled up with Fa. Five team fouls now on UTEP. Kalu out of the game with 2, so John Dos Anjos into the game for the Miners.
And this is where teams like to try to steal a basket, but they're underneath, out of bounds, have like a little bit of a wrinkle.
Oh, that's out of bounds off of Fa. He thought it was touched by Dos Anjos, but it's UTEP basketball. Good D from the Miners.
We'll see if UTEP can cut into this lead and cut it down to 1 or maybe tie the game up on this possession.
6 steals by UTEP. Dos Anjos launches a 3, boarded by Fa.
They ran that same play for Trey Horton. That little flare screen, misdirection. He had a couple of good looks.
Marshall thought about the 3, and now McHenry straight away rattles it home. Don McHenry's triple. 5 points for Western Kentucky's leading scorer.
Unlike when we talked about Western Kentucky closing out short, to UTEP, you have to close out above the 3-point line and run a guy like McHenry off the 3-point line.
Solomon shot fake, spins it in around Babacar Fa. UTEP getting back on defense, so Western Kentucky unable to play at full tempo. Lander nearly lost it and somehow gets it to spin in on the way up. That's a tough play for the former Indiana Hoosier, Christian Lander.
Yeah, that was a physical drive. Ball was deflected and he was still able to get control of it.
Zid Powell in the paint. Fa gets a block, but foul called on Babacar Fa.
So Don McHenry, nice little shot here. That closeout was too short. You got to get closer, baby.
Western Kentucky by 6 on UTEP. Moments ago, Tiffany Blackman spoke with Joe Golding.
Coach Golding, you all fought through the turnovers and at one point a 13-point deficit. How do you continue to...
Could you tell it's been a decade since we've been in a championship game? It's been a while, man. So glad of our guys getting settled in a little bit, man. Hopefully we get settled in, get this thing back into halftime, man, where it's manageable.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Well, Joe Golding won the Southland twice with Abilene Christian, but as he mentioned, it's been a while, 2011 since UTEP has played in a Conference USA championship game. They went at large to the NCAA tournament in 2010 under Tony Barbee, but they have come from behind twice versus Liberty and Sam Houston. They trailed by 13 against this Western Kentucky team, so you cannot question the fight from the UTEP Miners.
And another thing he wanted us to know was that he's really good friends with Coach Lutz.
Right.
That those guys go way back to Incarnate Word in San Antonio, where I practiced before they had practice facilities with NBA teams or college teams.
During the San Antonio Spurs days, right?
Yes, sir.
And both from the Chris Beard coaching tree. Marshall in tight, off the window, fight for the rebound, loose ball, Faw picks it up, gets bumped. That's a foul on the floor on Dos Anjos. Big rebound for Babacar Faw.
Yeah, and that's their 16th foul, so we'll see if Western Kentucky get in the bonus. You got to give it to both of these teams, though. They're hustling, they're trying. I know they've made some mistakes with the basketball and turning it over some, but the effort is there.
Ball backing down on Calvin Solomon.
Here comes the double team from the baseline. Nice job of getting rid of it.
Missed three, boarded by Frazier. David Terrell Jr., the freshman from Dallas, running point. For the Miners, he plays big minutes off the bench for UTEP. Into the post, Faw knocks it away from Solomon. Another steal for Western Kentucky. Lob ahead, Newman gathers, Faw finishes. More defense to offense for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, beautiful unselfish play by Brandon Newman. Sure, Faw's gonna get the credit for making the layup, but Newman, he made his teammate better on that play. That's winning basketball. 6
steals for Western Kentucky. Frazier in tight off the shot fake. He draws a foul on Tyrone Marshall Jr.
So we talked about it even in our open. Who can capitalize on mistakes? You know, here's beautiful defense, swarming the basketball, but here's the key right here. The big fella still running, not giving up on the play.
Frazier to the free throw line, mentioned yesterday, 73 steals, second in Conference USA, but Arturo Dean of FIU led the nation with 104 steals. Frazier gets the first. CBS Sports celebrates Women's History Month, recognizing the outstanding contributions women have made on and off the field of play. UTEP 6 for 7 from the free throw line. When they beat Western Kentucky, they knocked down 24 free throws in the win against the Hilltopper.
Yeah, I find it kind of strange when UTEP doesn't have any of their players on the line. You may be able to get an offensive rebound if there's a miss.
Faw finishes off a great look from Newman, and one.
We know Newman is capable of making the three, but he's showing us also he can put the ball on the floor and quarterback his team. Getting downhill here, going left. Nice short pass. Beat the rotation from the backside.
8 points, 4 rebounds already for Babacar Faw, who has the first free throw for Western Kentucky and gives the Hilltoppers a 9-point lead. They've led by as many as 13 in the first half.
And it's really been the bench for UTEP that's kept them in this game.
Sid Powell for 3, off a look from David Terrell Jr. The third made 3 for UTEP. Tay Hardy back into the game with 2 personal fouls.
See, on this swing, there was 0 closeout. It's a strategy. It wasn't like the closeout defender made a mistake. No, they want to allow Zid Powell to take all the threes he wants.
Lander misses, boarded by Zid Powell, the 6'4" senior. Solomon on the run, drops it off. Powell off the window. Zid Powell makes it a 4-point game. Powell, the senior from Philly, played last year at Buffalo.
It'll be pretty interesting to see how long Rodney Howard stays out of the game. I think they got to get him back in the game.
Nice feed from Fa to McHenry in the corner, boarded by Hardy.
Because really, they don't have a true half-court inside-out game when Howard is on the bench.
Howard's only played 4 minutes in this first half.
And he's not in foul trouble. He hasn't committed a foul.
Shot clock at 5. Powell launches a deep three and nails it. Western Kentucky's playing off a Powell, and he's making him pay.
Yeah, they may have to rethink that strategy.
An 8-0 run, and UTEP has a chance to take the lead.
I mean, he shot that three from a couple of steps from behind the line. Look at him. Wow. Look at the rotation on that ball. Beautiful shot.
He's only a 24% three-point shooter, so you can understand why Western Kentucky's playing off.
Oh, yeah, you understand the strategy, but this is when you have to readjust your strategy in game. I've been there a million times.
2 made threes early for Zid Powell. 4 triples for UTEP. They fought back from 13 down to make it a 1-point game. Hardy with a feed inside. Hamilton backing in. Follows his miss. That's a tie-up UTEP ball. The Miners will have another chance to take the lead.
Yeah, Big Hamilton's giving them terrific energy. He's got his size. You know, you look at him, he's 6'10", and going against another guy 6'11" with Howard, so he's not giving up much.
Oh, Hardy stepped out of bounds. Turnover number 10 for the Miners.
You remember what my word is?
Yes, I do, yes.
Turnovers. Those are non-negotiables. I'm subbing you out on that turnover.
Well, Joe Golding wants to see Tay Hardy on the floor, so he's rolling with his top scorer right now.
You gotta adjust your thought process when it comes to your best player, right?
Sometimes there's different rules, right? Kick to Newman for the 3. Boarded by Frazier. So another chance for UTEP.
Yeah, you saying if Tay Hardy's late for the bus,
right?
He still starts.
Exactly. I know some of those tricks. You make sure you're the last one on the bus, right? Hamilton at the high post on the Corey Camper Jr. Powell crosses over into the paint. Powell floats it. Air ball off the hands of Newman. It's going to be UTEP ball with just 1.2 to shoot. We have a 1-point game in CUSA. Zid Powell is the subject of our Reese's player profile. UTEP is actually his 4th stop. Community College of Beaver County, where he once scored 81 points in a game. Harcum Junior College, 1 year at Buffalo, and 9 points in this game for Zid Powell, the senior from Philadelphia.
Yeah, a lot of times an X factor can be a player or it can be a surprise. And it's been a nice surprise for UTEP with Zid Powell. They know what he can do going out, getting out in the basket. But his three-point shooting, he's 2 for 3 from 3, and that's been a nice surprise.
For more on Zid, let's check in with Tiffany.
And guys, he's fasting for Ramadan. The staff, the athletic training staff, has been keeping close eyes on when sunrise and sundown are, since he's not consuming food or water, between those periods. So as needed, he has eaten granola bars on the bench once the sun goes down during late games. And with tonight's 7:30 local start, well, the training staff, they had a sandwich ready for him to eat before taking the floor, guys. So, and he's putting on quite a show this evening.
Indeed, he has 9 of the last 10 points for UTEP. So Powell leading the come from behind effort. Quick trigger with a shot clock winding down. Hardy misses the 3.
Now Rodney Howard's back in the game.
Camper gets the steal. Run out for the Miners. That's goaltending. UTEP on top from down 13 in the first half. The Miners lead it by 1.
This is their game, Steel City. They'll take your lunch from you. And this team, not only do they have quick hands from end to end, I mean, all these guys must run a what? A 4.40.
7 steals. UTEP averages 11.5, the nation's best. McHenry earns a trip to the free throw line with 2:53 to go before the half. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Brent Stover, Wally Zerbiak, Renee Montgomery, John Rothstein, and Jerry Palm get you caught up on all the conference tournaments and the latest news from around the country. That's coming up on AT&T at the half.
Wally Zerbiak would love to play for Western Kentucky because he can knock down the 3. You know, that would fit right into his game.
The big man who can step outside.
Yes, sir.
A lot to get you caught up on around college basketball, including New Mexico, making sure they're off the bubble and in the NCAA tournament. McHenry gets them both. Western Kentucky back up by 1.
And when you're an elite three-point shooting team and scoring team like Western Kentucky and UTEP defensively, #1 in the nations in steals, you get in the NCAA tournament, you know, these teams are not necessarily be one and done. They can make some noise.
Camper hits the 3. The 5th, made 3 of the first half for UTEP. Miners back on top.
Yeah, if UTEP is making threes, it's lights out.
Western Kentucky's gone almost 4 minutes without a field goal. Newman off the window to end that drought. Former Boilermaker at Purdue, where Steve Lutz was an assistant.
And you always talk about finishing plays, but now who can finish the half?
Powell, nice dish. Frazier took a bump, play on. Hamilton, that's a tie-up, Western Kentucky ball. Well, our bracket week headlines, it is now 20 #1 seeds, including here in Conference USA with Sam Houston went down. Duquesne versus VCU A-10 championship tomorrow on CBS. That will be a bid stealer as Dayton's going in at large.
Yeah, that's going to be a really...
McHenry off the window.
And when you talk about Duquesne, Day-Day Grant, oh, he puts it in the basket. He was 6 or 9 from 3 in that semifinal game, 27 points.
A foul called on Camper. McHenry has 9 points to lead Western Kentucky. He had 18 versus Middle Tennessee in the semifinal win for the Hilltoppers. Junior college All-American last year at Indian Hill Community College after his freshman year at Hawaii Hilo. And junior from Milwaukee is a scorer for Western Kentucky. He has 10.
Now Trey Horton's back in the game.
Frazier drives on Howard. Shot fake. Howard stands his ground. Newman couldn't handle the rebound. It's out of bounds. Western Kentucky ball.
Yeah, when you drive and you have a big guy like Rodney Howard step up and you're trying to pivot to score the basketball, you have to find your teammates. See, this shot right here is too off balance. Move the ball. That's what Coach Golding has been talking about over and over again. Bad shots, they don't get counted as a turnover, but it's like a turnover.
UTEP can't handle any more turnovers. Marshall, tough runner for Tyrone Marshall Jr. Senior from Nashville, second year as a Hilltopper. 7 straight for Western Kentucky in a game of runs. Powell attacks. Fouled on the way to the hoop. That's a blocking foul on Tegan Moore trying to draw the charge.
Yeah, total confusion here on that pick and roll. If you notice, Howard was supposed to jump out and impact the ball, but he was out of position.
Sid Powell had the all-around night versus Liberty when UTEP knocked off the 4-seed Flames. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and that quarterfinal win. 9 points, although he has missed a pair of free throws so far for UTEP.
Yeah, and Zed went to high school in Philadelphia, Overbrook High School. Wilt Chamberlain's alma mater.
David Terrell Jr. back in the game. Powell gets a break. 10 points in the first half for Zid Powell.
So we're down to about 2 possessions here in this first half. We'll see if UTEP can get a stop.
Moore gets around Trey Horton III. After the drought for Western Kentucky, when they went over 4 minutes without a field goal, they've made 4 straight buckets against the UTEP D.
So where does UTEP go for offense on this possession? Are they going to run a misdirection? Maybe Corey Camper Jr. swinging around to him here on this left wing.
Frazier crosses over, attacks, and draws a foul. It's before the shot, so don't count the basket, says Jeb Hartness. Fouls on the floor. One and one coming after that first personal foul on Brandon Newman.
Yeah, one more step by the defense. That could have been a charge, but fortunately it worked out. Who made that last call?
Jeb Hartness.
Oh, okay. I'm agreeing with him now because I'm sitting over here.
Otherwise, you would have been counting the basket, right?
Yes, count it.
Frazier already 3 for 4 from the free throw line in this one.
It's always nice for Jeb and the officials to come say hello to us before the game.
Gary Maxwell, Jeb Hartness, and Amy Bonner, our officiating crew for the Conference USA Championship. Shot clock turned off.
So if they execute this to perfection, they'll attempt this shot with around 5 seconds.
Howard gives it up, under 5 seconds now. UTEP D'ing up McHenry. Newman doesn't get a shot off, so the Miners D'd up on the last possession. Western Kentucky leads by 4 at the half.
And that's why in those situations, you have to attempt this shot around 5 seconds. You can't try to attempt it, you know, with 1 or 2 seconds. Bad things happen. So poor execution there, but they'll go in and talk about it at halftime.
Western Kentucky led by as many as 13, up 4 at the break. Tiffany's with Steve Lutz.
Coach Lutz, UTEP has found their way back in it with the 3 ball. How do you guys mitigate that in the second half?
Well, that's not typically been what they've done, and we didn't guard a couple guys that their numbers were low, so we've got to obviously make an adjustment at halftime. But you know, as much as they made the 3 ball, I'm just disappointed in our transition defense. We probably gave up 10 to 12 points just off transition defense, and that's something that we can easily fix here in the second half.
Coach, they're known for making those late runs to keep themselves alive and win games. What do you have to do to ultimately close them out?
Well, I mean, number one, we've got to value the basketball a little bit more. We turned it over, and we didn't get shots on that end, which turned into transition baskets without a set defense. So if we can get a good shot at the basket, we've had opportunities to score. And then secondly, you know, we've got to do a better job with knowing who we're guarding defensively and taking away what they're good at. So they're going to make a run. We're going to make a run. It's a championship game. That's what this is about.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
That is the end of the first half with a score 40-36, Western Kentucky leading UTEP. We'll send you to Brent Stover and Company in New York for AT&T in the half right after these messages. Halftime in Huntsville, Alabama, Western Kentucky by 4 in the Conference USA Championship game against the UTEP Miners. With Tiffany Blackman, Avery Johnson, I'm Carter Blackburn. Feels like a championship game. Western Kentucky led by as many as 13 early, but UTEP has fought its way back.
Yeah, the effort and enthusiasm from both teams are there. They haven't always made the best play or the right play, but man, they're laying it all out on the line because they know it's either win or go home.
we take a look at the first half stats, look at the points in the paint. 30 points in the paint for Western Kentucky. Both teams have turned it over a lot. Western Kentucky has taken advantage more.
Yeah, and the formula for points in the paint, it starts with penetration. And if you can break the defense down here, breaks the defense down, Landers, scores the basketball, and also post passing. Those on-time, on-target post passes is what does it for Western Kentucky. And then the three-point shooting. This has been a nice surprise. Powell and Horton, they're both 4 for 6 from the three-point line. So that's been an asset for UTEP.
For more on the Miners, let's check in with Tiffany.
Guys, Joe Golding trying to make my job easy. He came right out and said, same message, girl. We got to take care of the ball. We got to take care of the ball. I did ask him, though, if he was going to remind his team that they have been in this position before. Remember, they staged 2 late runs to get to where they are now, and he said he's going to do just that at their next TV timeout to let them know they can do this and come back.
Well, it was an ice-cold start for UTEP. They missed their first 10 shots. Western Kentucky got off to a 17-4 start. So when Joe Golding talked to Tiffany in that first half, he said we want to be in the game at the half. 4 points to begin the second half. They're right there.
Again, UTEP tries to run a little bit of an isolation play to start the half for Tay Hardy.
Just the second bucket for UTEP's leading scorer, Tay Hardy, who sat for the last 7 minutes of that first half with 2 personal fouls.
Unfortunately, in the first half of this game, he didn't commit a foul.
That's tipped away. It's another turnover by Western Kentucky. Each team now has 10 turnovers in the game.
And if I'm Coach Golding, I would think about playing Tay Hardy the entire second half. I wouldn't give him a break.
Hardy finds Frazier in the corner. Now Sid Powell, thought about another 3. Powell launches and hits again. Powell has his 3rd made 3 of the game.
And Coach Lutz talked about it with Tiffany. We have to make an adjustment. We wanted to play Powell, what we call cold, but now he's hot. You got to adjust.
The first 5 points of the second half go to UTEP. Miners back on top, seeking their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2010. Hardy lost the handle. Kalu has to come help him out. Powell tries another one. What? Powell, a 24% three-point shooter, has 4 made 3s. UTEP by 4.
This is a prime example of March Madness. The things that happen in March, you can have a three-point shooter that's shooting 24% from 3, get hot all of a sudden.
He had made 18 on the season prior to tonight. 4 made 3s for the senior from Philly. McHenry has an answer for Western Kentucky.
That's been their strength this game. We showed it in the highlights, points in the paint. UTEP's got to do a better job of being more disciplined on drivers and contain the basketball.
Camper turns the corner, ripped away. Foss scoops up the loose ball for Western Kentucky. Newman poked Frazier, and now Newman looked like he's fouled by Kalu. That'll be the 3rd on the junior big man for Baltimore.
Yeah, you got to really be happy for Powell. Going under the screen, that's a mistake against a guy that's really got confidence from behind the three-point line. You don't see a defender that's close enough. And now he's in a rhythm, man. That basket starts to get wider and wider.
Sid Powell has 16 points to lead all scorers. Brandon Newman misses the first. That's the first free throw miss by Western Kentucky. They were 4 for 4. Kalu comes out with 3 personals. Missed them both.
That's one of the things Coach Lutz talked about. He said we need to get to the free throw line more, but we got to make them.
Hardy on the wing. Draws 2 defenders, picks up the dribble. Solomon there to help him out.
You got to get the ball to the other side of the floor. you only stay on the right side of the floor. You're not putting pressure on the defense.
Marshall gets the steal, foul committed by Otis Frazier. That's the second personal on Frazier.
On that little pocket pass or back to Otis Frazier, he's got to look to swing the ball to the other side.
You saw the turnover numbers. Both teams have 8 steals. That's on brand for UTEP, but Western Kentucky has been aggressive defensively as well. Newman, runner off the window, won't go. Boarded by Solomon. Into the front court, another turnover, the 13th by UTEP. Lander brings it back for the Hilltoppers. Kick to McHenry.
Short.
Tapped, back into the hands of Lander. Feeds inside, why not another 3, McHenry. This one misses as well. Rebound by Camper.
Now UTEP's probably got to slow down the basketball, control tempo a little bit. If they were smart on this play, maybe try to get 3 or 4 passes, move the ball a little bit.
Playing through Hardy. Backing down on Lander, and now Tay Hardy from the baseline. Tough fader, boarded by Solomon. Solomon right back up, blocked from behind by Fall. Blocked again by Fall.
Terrific block.
Down to the deck, that's a tie-up possession arrow to the other end. Babacar Fall with back-to-back blocks.
Man, when you go in and you're challenging shot blockers, you got a pump fake. That's not going to work. That's like going up against Dikembe Mutombo.
That's high praise. You're wagging your finger.
Right.
Lander D'd up by Camper. Drops it off for Marshall. Now into the corner again. Another missed 3 from McHenry. Fa on the offensive glass, went over the back. Foul called on Babacar Fa. UTEP trailed by 13 in the first half, but the Miners charging back again in the second half. A 2-point lead. The 5-seed UTEP trying to make the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2010. A 2-point edge on Western Kentucky. Tomorrow at noon Eastern, there's more women's championship hoops on the way as Boston University battles Holy Cross in the Patriot League title match, followed by the CAA as Drexel faces Stony Brook. Catch all the action here on CBS Sports Network. Middle Tennessee wins the Conference USA women's tournament for the second straight year, the 12th NCAA tournament trip under Rick Insell for Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, low-scoring game. I think it was 8-7 after the
first quarter.
They kicked it in gear after that, and nice job by Middle Tennessee, and on to the NCAA tournament.
Well, the 1 seed and the 2 seed both losing here in Huntsville, Alabama. The 1 seed, Sam Houston, in their first year in Conference USA, taken out in the semis by UTEP. Louisiana Tech, the 2 seed, was defeated in the quarterfinals, so 3 versus 5 for the 1 spot out of Conference USA in the NCAA tournament. Zid Powell attacking again, gets to the free throw line for UTEP. Yeah, a little dig for, no pun intended, for the Miner fan. Sam Houston, who was the regular season champ, late win over Louisiana Tech to get that 1 seed. But they give up a double-digit lead. They were up 14 on UTEP. Again, the Miners have come from double digits down in both of their CUSA tournament wins. And they were down double digits early in this one, now lead it by 3.
And you know, one of the things to highlight about UTEP, right now Western Kentucky is 2 for 13 from the 3-point line. And the Miners, they only allow 5.8 made threes per game. That's the second fewest in the conference. So they're playing to their strength, defending that 3-point line.
They make fewer than 6 threes a game on average. Already 7 made threes in this one. That was kind of the befuddlement from Steve Lutz when he's talking to Tiffany at the half at how UTEP is shooting the basketball.
That's a pretty good word.
Thank you very much. We have been befuddled at times this week. Right now, the offense befuddled by Western Kentucky. Haven't scored in almost 3 minutes. Third foul on Fa, so Rodney Howard back into the game for Western Kentucky. Newman throws it in reverse off the window.
And even though Rodney Howard only has 2 points, you know, That's somewhat of an assist because the defense is paying so much attention to him, and he did a nice job of screening his own man.
Derek Hamilton banging with Howard down low. There's Hamilton, and one for the big man from Baton Rouge.
Yep, Hamilton got deep here. Nice little left shoulder jump hook. Nice little reverse layup here by Newman. Transitioning to the other side of the basket. I don't know why players don't do that more often. Instead of going up on the strong side, get the shot block, reverse it. Us little guys, we had to use all of those tricks.
Ingenuity.
Yeah.
Hamilton completes the three-point play. It's the largest lead of the game for UTEP. And Western Kentucky turns it over for the 11th time. After leading by 13 early, again, Western Kentucky started this game 17-4 as UTEP missed its first 10 shots of the game, but the Miners have charged back, trying to close out this improbable run as a 5 seed for the Conference USA Championship.
Remember when we interviewed Coach Golding early on, he said we just need to settle down a little bit. And they've definitely settled down.
Neither of these teams has won a Conference USA tournament title. UTEP played for the title in 2010 and 2011. Western Kentucky has lost 3 trips to the CUSA title game. Tay Hardy, that's just his 3rd bucket of the game for UTEP.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have to find another matchup and get Tegan Moore off of Hardy. That's a win for UTEP.
McHenry, D'd up by Solomon, launches a 3, and finally it goes down after McHenry had missed his last 3.
He's not shy.
Just the 3rd three-pointer of the game for Western Kentucky.
And you can see now they switch Brandon Newman onto Hardy.
Solomon backing down on Colombe. Off the shot fake, give it back to Sid Powell, who is thinking about another 3, takes it, bricks this one, but a follow goes from Camper on the offensive glass. UTEP has outscored Western Kentucky 17-7 in the second half. Howard draws 2 defenders, and a foul is called on Derek Hamilton.
So here's the shot. Now everybody's got a box out. And McHenry, he was ball watching on that play, and nice finish there by Corey Camper Jr. All of those little things, not just steals, but offensive rebounds, second chance points, everything matters.
UTEP's not a great rebounding team, but they're +4 on Western Kentucky. Newman off the shot fake. Howard wants it on the block. Covered up by Hamilton. Good seal by Howard. Colombe can't finish. Miners bring it back.
Yeah, they're going to have to continue to drive those closeouts.
Hardy takes it 1-on-3 and draws a foul on the floor. Looks like it's on Lander.
You notice UTEP, and we talked to Coach Golden about this, he didn't really want Howard to touch the ball much in the paint. Remember, he said he was going to 3-quarter, front him, try to frustrate him, and if he caught the ball, they were trapping him from the baseline side. Western Kentucky hasn't adjusted to that aggressive post defense.
That foul was on Newman, by the way, his 2nd. Push shot won't go for Camper. Rebound Colombe. Lander in the paint. That's a tough one, but the follow won't go. Colombe, now a foul called on Hamilton, who gets his 2nd personal.
You know Lander wants to get downhill to his left hand. He's capable of finishing with his right, but he's a left-handed driver.
Colombe, the junior from Quebec, who played 2 years at Indian Hills Community College. 5 of 7 from the free throw line for Western Kentucky.
His coach from Quebec, Hank Plona, is one of the assistants on the staff.
Got them both. Dante Allen, the senior, former Kentucky Wildcat, out with a bone bruise on his knee. Hasn't played in this game, was a game-time decision, so Western Kentucky down one of its key players. Hardy lines up a three. Fight for the rebound, saved by Frazier, but into the hands of the Hilltoppers. Moore stops, that's an offensive foul. Terrell Jr. takes the charge.
I don't know if he was set on that play. That's one of those bang-bang plays. Tough one to call. Let's take a quick look here. Yeah, he got there.
Outside the circle.
Yep. Got his feet set.
The Conference USA Freshman of the Year, David Terrell Jr. Frazier behind the back. Frazier misses the tough floater. Loose ball on the deck. Lander has it for Western Kentucky into the hands of McHenry.
And Lander did a nice job of getting there at the last minute.
McHenry on the run, stripped by Camper. Out of bounds to Western Kentucky.
So you see the drive here, he got stripped. Fortunately, it didn't go off of his leg.
Hardy gets a break ahead of the under-12 timeout. Leads Conference USA in minutes played, and played almost all this second half, as you predicted.
And on all of these drives against UTEP, you got to strong with the ball, just like that.
McHenry has 17. Western Kentucky's back within 2. The Hilltopper fans on their feet here in Huntsville. Western Kentucky and UTEP both seeking their first Conference USA tournament titles. Rolling the big man, Hamilton can't finish. Boarded by Howard. McHenry off a good screen from Howard. Attacks, lost it on the way up. Foul is called on Derek Hamilton. 17 points for Don McHenry, the junior from Milwaukee, as Western Kentucky's cut it to a 2-point game. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Either the 5-seed UTEP Miners or the 3-seed Western Kentucky Hilltoppers will be the Conference USA champion on to the NCAA tournament. And with 11:20 to go, we have a 2-point game after Western Kentucky led by as many as 13 early on. And it's been back and forth between the Miners and the Hilltoppers.
We talked about this, earlier today, Carter. These teams, man, they're just so good at what they do. They play to their identity. But when things are going wrong in one part of their game, they know how to adjust. And right now, for Western Kentucky, only having made 1 3-point shot, they're still adjusting. And now they're on the 6-0 run.
Even again, there's Terrell Jr. missing in tight. Another all-out fight for the loose ball, won by Western Kentucky. Lander comes away with it. Hilltoppers a chance to take the lead. McHenry keeps the handle alive. 19 to lead all scorers in the game, Don McHenry. Crossover, step back, triple. Boarded by Camper for UTEP.
And you would think, okay, that's a bad shot. That's not necessarily a bad shot for McHenry in Western Kentucky with the way they like to play and their style of play. Those same shots went down in their last game.
Powell kicks to Frazier. Misses the 3.
3-on-2 here.
Lander pulls up off the window. Western Kentucky on top.
And beautiful move by Lander, because you're taught on a 3-on-2, if nobody stops the ball, finish it. Make a defender commit to you before you pass.
So a defensive lapse in the open court as well. Dribble handoff, Zid Powell comes to get it. 18 points to lead all UTEP scores. Powell, that may have been a pass to Kalu. Regardless, it's out of bounds to Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I love this fast break here. Here you see it, 3-on-2. Nobody really picked up the ball or stopped the ball. And then Lander just continued. Fortunately, the defender for him didn't step up and try to take a charge.
Two head coaches who have guided previous programs into the NCAA tournament. Steve Lutz at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Joe Golding at Abilene Christian. Both seeking their first NCAA tournament appearances with UTEP and Western Kentucky, respectively. Tegan Moore off the bounce, draws a foul.
I was just thinking, man, Tegan Moore, he's got to be a little bit more aggressive to score.
Fouls on Kevin Kalu, his fourth. 16 fouls now on UTEP.
A lot of times you have those freshmen, they want to fit in, but this is March, man.
The championship game tomorrow at 4 Eastern. Get ready to hit the dirt for the toughest 8 seconds in sports as the world's top bull riders face off at Little Rock, Arkansas. Catch PBR Unleash the Beast here on CBS Sports Network.
When you've had 3,000 points and 1,000 rebounds in your career in high school, you know how to score basketball.
From Dry Ridge, Kentucky. Four fouls for Kalu, 3 for Hamilton, so both big men in foul trouble. Yeah, that's a foul called on Lander. It'll be his first personal, 16 fouls on the Hilltoppers.
That could have been a foul on Landers or Newman. He reached in right there at the end.
The Hilltopper fans disagree.
Both teams have 16 fouls. Gotta keep our eyes on it.
Western Kentucky program that has won a total of 33 conference tournaments back to 1932, but their last 2 were as members of the Sun Belt before they joined Conference USA a decade ago.
And you've alluded to it several times. Both of these coaches, they know what an NCAA tournament team look like. They know how to get you there.
Attacking Hardy, bumped and play on. Lander finds a trailing Newman, thought about the 3. Colombe dumps it off. Howard dunks it down. Timeout UTEP. An 11-0 run by Western Kentucky to take control in the second half. UTEP hasn't scored in over 4.5 minutes. It's an 11-0 run for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, whenever there's a double team on the post, here's the back down. But right here, Corey Camper Jr., you're out of position. And when you're out of position and you don't see the big guy diving in there, bad things happen. Nice finish here, but that was Corey Camper Jr. responsibility. When there's a double team, you got to take away the paint touch from the dunker coming from the weak side and force the pass out towards the perimeter.
Amanda Golding, Joe Golding's wife, and Shannon Lutz, Steve Lutz's wife, they're sweating this one out as well. A spot in the NCAA tournament is on the line.
Yeah, it really has an impact on the wife. My wife was involved for 4 years, and man, we went to the tournament and fortunately upset Virginia Tech in the first round and lost to Villanova. But it's a whole family affair, trust me.
I mentioned a lot of respect between Joe Golding and Steve Lutz. They go all the way back to the Incarnate Word days. Out of the timeout. Camper gives it up. Solomon lost it on the way up. Gets his own miss and then throws it away into the hands of Tegan Moore. On the run, Moore, that's a hard foul. Moore hits the deck. The 16th turnover by UTEP.
Now, unlike UTEP's mistake, Western Kentucky did a nice job when they double-teamed the post to make sure they flooded the paint. Nice steal by Tegan Moore, and then he was off to the races.
Well, you wanted Moore to be more aggressive. He gets to the rim and gets to the free throw line. Western Kentucky shoots a lot of free throws. That's 10 of 13 in this game. That's a little bit behind what they usually shoot.
I love when players respond to our suggestions.
Makes you feel like you're coaching again, right? Moore gets them both. It's a 13-0 run for Western Kentucky.
And this is where Western Kentucky really gets teams going on these late spurts in games.
Frazier cut off on the baseline, has to throw it back out to Tay Hardy. UTEP's leading scorer passes on it.
He's not even looking to shoot in that situation, Frazier.
Powell behind the back, lost it. Powell gets it back. Tie up, that's a jump ball possession to UTEP, 3.6 to shoot.
See, if you're going to be in a position where Frazier is and you're not going to even look at the basket, you got to cut. But nice job here. They realize that Powell is a hot player. Jump out there and force him to find the non-shooter.
Western Kentucky led this game 17-4 to start, then relinquished the lead to UTEP. The Miners have a history in this tournament of come-from-behind wins. Can they do it again in the championship game?
Yeah, we talked about Western Kentucky having fresh legs. How is that going to benefit them? They didn't have a player play over 23 minutes in their last game because it was a blowout.
Hamilton beats the buzzer. Derek Hamilton ends the drought of almost 5 minutes for UTEP. McHenry pulls up off the screen from Howard. Nice screen from Rodney Howard.
No analytics say that's not a great shot, but when you can take it and make it, it's a good shot.
21 now for Don McHenry. Hardy spins all the way to the rim for Tay Hardy.
Carter, that's the key, I believe, for Tay Hardy. He doesn't always need a pick and roll. Sometimes just let him isolate from the middle of the floor.
Woo! McHenry again. 23 now for the first team All-Conference USA performer, Don McHenry.
See, I just think that's a mistake.
Camper misses the three. Tap out, second chance for the Miners. Powell whips it into Hamilton. Lost it on the way up. Another turnover. Newman on the run for the Hilltoppers.
McHenry on the trail.
17 turnovers now for UTEP.
Now they'll play pick and roll to try to get Hamilton involved.
Offensive foul called on Western Kentucky. Don McHenry taking over for Western Kentucky. 23 points in the game now for the junior from Milwaukee. Western Kentucky by 7. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Let's revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by Ace, the helpful place.
Yeah, nice job by UTEP defending the three-point line. Wanted them to live more at the line. They 12 for 15 from the free throw line. Ball security for Western Kentucky has been a problem. They would have a bigger lead if they're taking better care of the ball. And only one guy in double figures, McHenry, thought he would spread around a little bit more. And here he is, Don McHenry's been wonderful, playing pick and roll. Down here, we got a couple of lefties in this game that know how to run this pick and roll, mid-range jumper. But man, he's a daredevil driving to the basket.
He had 25 in the win over UTEP in the regular season, 23 so far in this for Don McHenry. And for more, let's check in with Tiffany Blackman.
Yeah, guys, it was quite the journey for him to get to Western Kentucky. He's a Milwaukee native, and he wasn't heavily recruited coming out of high school because of the pandemic. He ended up going to Hawaii, felt homesick, so he hit the transfer portal, and their assistant head coach, Hank Plona, found him. And what a find they have now. Look at the season he's been able to put together, but he's definitely found the right home for himself, being able to transfer into Western Kentucky.
13 second-half points for Don McHenry, stepping up in the championship game.
And even though he's the only guy in double figures right now, got a couple of guys that's, 2 guys that have 9 points, 7 points, so we got a couple of guys approaching double figures.
Zid Powell has 18 for UTEP. Picks up his dribble here. Calvin Solomon out to help him. Powell launches the three again. This one spins out, boarded by McHenry.
That's a big key at the stage of the game when you're trying to protect the lead. Only allow one shot.
Lander. That's a tough one. Boarded by Fa, puts it right back up, can't hit it. Rebound by Otis Frazier. And then a foul on Babacar Fa. That is his 4th. And a 1-1 coming for UTEP.
It's a good way to slow the game down. Go back to that free throw line. We talked about it. They're 12 for 15 from the line. Western Kentucky's 11 for 14.
Correction, that last foul was on Colombe, his 3rd. So that's a break as Fa still has 3. Misses the front end.
And again, this is so weird to me. That time UTEP only had 1 player on the line. Unless a guy is shooting 100% from the line.
Oh, foul called on Solomon going for the loose ball with McHenry. Second personal on Solomon. 1-1 coming.
Yeah, that's just a lot of contact on that play. But you see these guys diving on the floor, man. The first one to the floor normally wins.
McHenry misses. That's his first free throw miss. Misses the front end. UTEP has come from behind in the second half in both of its Conference USA tournament wins. 5:36 to go. Can the Miners do it again? That's ripped away by Lander. Lob ahead. Newman corrals it. Blocked from behind by Solomon. Out of bounds to Western Kentucky.
Effort plays coming from behind. Watch this block.
$14 steals now for Western Kentucky against the team who leads the nation in steals per game, UTEP.
But we know UTEP has had problems with ball security. We got a switch here in the mismatch. This is a time to really look high-low.
McHenry, floater, count it. A lot of contact. The bucket goes 25 in the game now for Don McHenry.
One of the adjustments UTEP can make is on those middle pick and rolls is force McHenry to his right hand.
Another steal by Western Kentucky. Newman drops it off Colombe's. Hits the deck hard. Looked like Hardy slipped.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. Just kind of lost his footing there. Yep, he's okay.
Remember, Western Kentucky's already playing without Dante Allen out with a knee injury in the semis, but thankfully Colombe looks like he's walking this one off.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, looked
Hardy
like
just slipped.
Yeah, Tay Hardy slipped on that. That's what started that little bit of an avalanche there.
Two shots coming for Colombe, his second trip to the free throw line for the junior from Quebec. Free throw misses for Western Kentucky.
And we didn't even jinx him.
No.
we didn't even say anything about.
Western Kentucky, its 4th trip to the Conference USA title game. They lost the previous 3 under former head coach Rick Stansberry, trying to end that drought with their first Conference USA title under Steve Lutz. The Hilltopper fans to their feet.
And they're on their feet because they're on the 24 to run right now. And at some point, there's going to be limited possessions left in this game.
Newman fouls. Powell will head to the free throw line. That's the 3rd on Newman.
So right now we had 4 minutes and 52 seconds left in the game. As you shared, UTEP has 17 turnovers. Now this can turn your bad luck into a good luck. You can make these free throws, maybe down 8. Every possession, the rest of this game, take care of the ball. Get a shot at the basket.
Powell gets the front end.
Because if that 17 turnover number go to 20 turnovers, then it's over.
There you see the foul trouble. Kalu has 4, the only player in the game with 4. Zid Powell gets them both. Back to an 8-point game. The Miners came from down 13 in the first half. Now another double-digit lead in the second half.
Yep.
Marshall picks up his dribble on the wing. Lander comes to get it, and a little ticky-tack foul called on Corey Camper Jr.
And see, this is what happens with a Steelers team, Carter. You know, you're down by 8, and, you know, you're programmed to steal the ball, but you don't want to continue to send Western Kentucky to the line.
Both teams now in the double bonus.
Yeah, you got to, this is the time to play defense without fouling.
Lander, the senior from Evansville, who was huge in the semifinal win over Middle Tennessee. 15 points off the bench. Got the start tonight in place of the injured Dante Allen. And has a chance to put the Hilltoppers back up by double digits.
And it's great to see Lander back. He missed the entire month of January.
Powell attacks, hits the deck, kept the dribble alive. Terrell Jr., the freshman from Dallas, misses, but a foul is called. Terrell Jr. will head to the free throw line.
A couple of times players have really lost their footing here on several drives. So here, Powell, or he just kind of, his left foot just kind of went the wrong direction.
Looks like Terrell may have lost a contact. Before his 2 free throws. He took a pop to the eye regardless. Yeah, contact.
It looked like one of the assistant coaches found it.
David Terrell Jr. mentioned the fun fact. He's the Conference USA Freshman of the Year. His mom, Kiana, a great player for UTEP, was the WAC Freshman of the Year. Son David, the Conference USA Freshman of the Year.
So they're going to allow him to put his contact back in.
Ouch. Foul on McHenry was his 2nd.
When you're closing out, you want to try to make sure you contain that basketball. Really be disciplined on your closeouts.
I mentioned when UTEP beat Western Kentucky, they made 24 free throws in that game. 14 from the free throw line in this game, and if the Miners are going to come back, it's likely going to be from the free throw line.
We haven't seen much of Trey Horton in this second half, but between Trey Horton and David Terrell Jr., some really good-looking freshmen.
Terrell rattles home the first of two. Miners part of a four-way tie for fourth place here in the regular season in CUSA. Terrell misses the second. Big Red approves.
UTEP's got to string together a couple of consecutive stops here, or this game's going to be over. Their goal right now is not 3 stops in a row or 4 stops in a row. It's 1 stop at a time.
Marshall to the rim. There's the stop. Powell gets the rebound. Zid Powell pushing the Miners. Stops, floats, misses, boarded by McHenry. Big rebound for Don McHenry.
Coach Lutz is saying the clock is your friend.
Newman lost it. Fa goes to get it. Takes a bump. No call.
I don't know why Western Kentucky was in a rush.
Timeout, Western Kentucky. Maybe discussing some time management. The Hilltoppers 3:31 away from the NCAA tournament.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by PBR Teams. Team up, hang on, take the ride. PBR Teams, July 2024.
Huntsville, Alabama hosting the Conference USA Championship for the first time, and we have had a nice trip to Huntsville, Alabama. You've been here a few times.
Yeah, I've been here a few times, actually. Coached a few times in this building when I was coaching at Alabama. So we've had a good time here in Huntsville. We couldn't move around the hotel today. It was a little rowdy with the St. Patrick's Day parade.
They went hard on St. Patrick's Day here in Huntsville, Alabama. We can attest.
Did I see you walking outside in the parade?
You
were arrested tonight's game?
No, we were scratching out notes all day long, watching hoops like everybody else. Western Kentucky 3:31 away from its first Conference USA tournament title under first-year head coach Steve Lutz, who guided Texas A&M Corpus Christi to the NCAA tournament the last 2 years. Out of the timeout, a stop by UTEP. Hardy attacks for the Miners, drops it off, lost it. Frazier gets it back, then dumps it off. Solomon finishes.
Yeah, excellent finish by Solomon inside. I'm just trying to figure out what is Western Kentucky trying to accomplish right now on offense, especially in that last possession with the wild drive to the basket by Lander.
Now it's more attacking, turns it over. Frazier gets it in the open floor, dumps it off. Powell attack, off the window. Play on, Powell hits the deck hard. He's holding his leg right now. McHenry takes a quick shot. Fall there on the offensive glass. Travel, turned it over before the shot. Boy, that was a big no call on the drive by Powell.
So here's Powell on the drive. Wow, that was a foul. You gotta call a foul in that situation.
UTEP down 7. They came from down 13 in the first half.
Yeah, T.J. Moore, he was not in leading guarding position.
A lot of time before Camper gets off the shot. Boarded by Lander. Western Kentucky gets a key stop. Newman tries a 3. Spins out, rebound Moore. Lost it out of bounds. It was touched by a Miner, so Western Kentucky ball not reviewable, just outside of 2 minutes.
So here you got to get the ball in clean. You got, if you're the inbounder, you know where you want to throw the ball, so you may want to fake a pass, to make a pass, look one way, to look the correct way. But you got to really get this ball inbounds without turning it over. Unfortunately, they did.
Into the hands of McHenry, almost turned it over. Moore comes back to get it, and now on the dribble drive, Brandon Newman. Less than 2 to go. Hilltoppers by 9.
And Zed Powell and UTEP, they look exhausted right now. They used a lot of energy.
Kalu gets it at the high post. Zed Powell finds Hardy. Bricks the 3. Rebounded by Tegan Moore. Western Kentucky gets it across the timeline. Running clock in the half court.
He's trying to foul.
Foul is given. Zed Powell fouls. And that was not what Joe Golding wanted. He was yelling trap. Instead, the foul is given.
Here's the Newman drive, splitting the defense. No shot blocking at the basket. That's definitely a foul.
2 shots for Brandon Newman.
But that's a great area, Carter, on the sideline. When you're down 9, the trap without fouling and maybe try to get a steal. The sideline is at third defender.
Coming up next, the road to the Final Four continues as our hoops experts break down all the latest tournament play on Inside College Basketball right here on CBS Sports Network, including the ACC final between NC State and North Carolina. Newman gets them both. Western Kentucky closing in on the Conference USA title.
If you're Western Kentucky, you want to play solid defense, any pick and roll switch, take away any and all threes. You don't want any three-pointers here. Oh, that's
a blocking foul called. Looked like it could have been offensive, but instead, blocking foul called on Newman stops the clock. Powell gets to the free throw line. Could have been a push-off.
A lot of times in that situation, especially if the defender beats you to the spot and you use that offhand.
Big free throw miss by Zed Powell, who's been terrific tonight with 20 points, 4 rebounds, but Powell misses the first of 2.
This young man is giving it his heart tonight. I mean, he's giving it his all. Got hot from the three-point line and just couldn't get enough help from his teammates.
Second one rattles home, but it's still a double-digit lead for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Coach Golden is going to do a little offense-defense here, give Powell a quick break. We'll see if they look to quick foul here or trap again.
Trouble getting it in for Western Kentucky. Into the hands of Lander. No foul yet. Across the timeline into the hands of Moore. Keep away game for Western Kentucky. Now the foul is given by David Terrell Jr. Under a minute to go. A double-digit lead for the Hilltoppers.
And man, look at the support from the Hilltoppers that have traveled here to Huntsville. The fans.
It is a proud winning program. 58 seconds away from taking the next step back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2013.
And it's funny, we talked to Coach Lutz about how they finished the regular season. He said, hey, we finished the regular season on the road and we had the opposing teams 3 different senior nights.
4 straight losses to close out the regular season, dropping Western Kentucky to the 3 seed. And now on the verge of its 3rd straight win here in Huntsville to take the CUSA championship.
And we've heard the quote, failure is the final, only if you give up, and they didn't give up. Got hot at the right time.
Desperation time for UTEP.
You can see here, Western Kentucky 1-5 switch.
Hardy hits the 3. Timeout, UTEP back to single digits. Hope for the Miners with 44.5. That's Hardy's first made 3 of the game.
Yeah, serious mistake by Lander. When you're switching 1 through 5, Even if you force a guy to go back door and score a 2, that's okay.
Both teams in the double bonus. Western Kentucky ball after the made 3 by Hardy. The 5-seed Miners double-digit come from behind wins, but the Hilltoppers in command with 44.7 to go.
So now this is a critical part of the game. You practice this all the time. Especially at the end of practice, you practice press offense because you want to do it when the players are a little bit fatigued to try to, resemble what's going to happen in the game. Everybody's an option. You cannot hide from this basketball.
Newman uses a timeout. There's 1 left for Western Kentucky, so credit UTEP with making the inbound tough for the Hilltoppers.
You don't want to inbound the ball in the deep corners or underneath the basket. So nice job here. You can see Hardy playing center field, switching. Nice deny by Solomon, Calvin Solomon right there. Sometimes you can look long. Sometimes the guy going long is wide open because UTEP really wants to play 5 against 4 here.
The big number in this game, 15 steals by Western Kentucky. Get it into Lander. Trap comes immediate. Lander gets rid of it, gets fouled by Frazier as he crosses midcourt. So good job by Lander to get out of the pressure.
Yeah, nice job of passing out of the trap. Here, splits it, but sometimes you can look up a little sooner. You can get a layup or a dunk. But give the inbounder credit, not just Lander, for getting the ball in very effectively.
Lander gets the first of 2. Back to a double-digit lead.
And I think the thought coming in for Coach Lutz is if they could get close to 80 points, even though in the regular season, UTEP scored quite a few points. But again, this is multiple games in a row. Little fatigue could be setting in. They've had to utilize a lot of energy to come back in previous games, prior games.
Hardy misses the 3. It is out of bounds to Western Kentucky, but we're going to have a review of this out of bounds under 2 minutes. To the monitor for Amy Bonner and Jeb Hartness.
You have to have at least one review.
Right. So de facto timeout with 33.3 left. Well, you just mentioned it, Avery, the Western Kentucky losing 4 straight at the end of the regular season. That was at Middle Tennessee, lost at home to Louisiana Tech, then at FIU, at Liberty. There were some hard luck losses, some controversial calls that led in part to that 4-game losing streak for Western Kentucky, but they have rallied here in Huntsville. 2 double-digit wins in the quarters and the semis. Now up double digits in the final minute against UTEP in the championship.
Man, looked like this ball went off of Moore's hand right at the end. Frazier came in and was knocking it Moore's out of bounds, but we'll see if it went off Tegan Moore's hand right there at the very end. This is a real close one. Look, take a look, Carter.
The call on the court is Western Kentucky ball, so out of bounds off of Frazier.
Look at Moore's left hand, right
left
there.
Hand, yeah. Well, regardless of the call, time is running out on UTEP. This may be minor basketball out of bounds off of Moore. But that 3 miss from Hardy, costly for UTEP.
Yeah, I really thought that ball went off for Moore's left finger. But maybe they're just trying to get the clock right now.
Steve Lutz is enjoying
He is smiling.
this last minute of the Conference USA Championship.
Yeah, you got to soak it all in.
Longtime assistant Creighton, Purdue, SMU, among others. Took A&M Corpus Christi to the Southland Tournament titles the last 2 years. Year one in Western Kentucky. Here comes the call.
The call on the floor has been changed. The UTEP ball with 33.6 on the clock.
I thought I was going to have to change my prescription in my glasses. Right.
You got it right. Out of bounds off of Moore. And .3 put back up there for UTEP. Miners need something in a hurry.
Got to shoot a three here.
Camper,
Nice.
three goes.
Beautiful execution.
One timeout for both.
Got away with a push-off there. Ooh, he got away with a push-off Lander.
That would have been costly. Offensive foul potentially on Western Kentucky. You thought that one could have been called.
Watch this. Watch his right arm. See the extension?
Joe Golding saw it. Lander gets the first of two. That's 10 points in the game for Lander. They have 3 in double figures now. Gets them both.
Well, we know somebody who's going to enjoy this win. Yes, the team and the coaches, but our favorite trombone player in Western Kentucky's band with the beard.
Avery's favorite. Last gasp for UTEP. Frazier gets the bucket. Joe Golding uses his final timeout with 20.2. Played it to the end. It's a 7-point game. Stranger things have happened. Brandon Newman has 15 points and 2 assists in the game for Western Kentucky.
Nice job on curls. Facilitating the offense, but his drives, man, getting this reverse layup. We know he can knock down the three. Finish with his left hand. Through traffic.
He has 15. Lander has 11. Don McHenry with 25. The second time this year that McHenry has scored 25 against the UTEP Miners. Had the 25 points in their 90-80 win in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Again, both teams won on their home floor. So meeting number 3 between the Miners and the Hilltoppers in Big Red is getting ready for a major celebration.
Yeah, that's why I thought 5 guys in double, 5 Western Kentucky players in double figures. I just thought because of their depth, you know, their offensive team, even without Allen.
Again, Western Kentucky's done it without one of their starters and key contributors, Dante Allen. Missed tonight's game with a knee injury he suffered in semis against Middle Tennessee. McHenry stepped out of bounds. It's UTEP ball with 19.3.
Got to come to a 2-foot jump stop on the catch. Last time UTEP was in this situation, they ran a Q play for a 3, so we'll see if they can get another.
Hardy pulls up for 3. Misses. Rebound to Western Kentucky, and the Hilltoppers are close to dribbling it out. Newman, no fouls for UTEP. Western Kentucky will dribble out a 78-71 win. The Hilltoppers are champions of Conference USA. Western Kentucky back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2013. A Conference USA title in year 1 under Steve Lutz.
Yeah, well deserved. This team, man, they played the right way. We thought they were going to be the more energized team. They were just too much depth. Both of these teams were well coached. A little sloppy early in the game, but man, they just went on that big spurt there in the second half, and UTEP, just too much for them to overcome.
Western Kentucky lost its last 4 in the regular season, but 3 straight wins here in Huntsville, Alabama, and for the first time, Western Kentucky champions of Conference USA after losing 3 CUSA title games previously. The Hilltoppers finally break through.
Yeah, and Don McHenry just put the Hilltoppers on his back and carried them to victory. He'll probably be the most outstanding player.
And Tiffany is with Don McHenry.
Don, what a finish to this game. You all are first-time Conference USA champions, going to the dance. What does that feel like?
It's surreal right now. I really feel like it feels fake right now. I just got to give all the glory to God. Man, like, my emotions everywhere right now. Like, this is all I can think about for the last couple of days, and it really happened. Like, it's really reality. Like, I can't even explain my feelings right now, man. I'm just blessed.
You all were battle-tested in this one to the end. Why is this team so resilient?
It's just what we've been through throughout the whole season. The ups and downs, like, it prepared us. Like, we came off like 4 losing streak before we got here. It was just all for a reason. It just prepared us, and we stayed with it, and we got it done.
How will you guys keep it going in the tournament?
Build off of this and just keep turning up with this momentum we got. It's going to be scary, man. We can really do something special for sure.
Congratulations, Don.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
He had 25 points in the regular season win over UTEP, and Don McHenry, the under-recruited player from Milwaukee, ended up as a All-American in junior college, first-team All-Conference USA performer. Western Kentucky wins at 78-71. More to come from Huntsville, where Western Kentucky wins at 78-71. We'll send you back to Brent Stover and company in our New York studio inside College Basketball Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
Carter, Avery, and Tiffany, well done. Back out to you guys momentarily for the trophy presentation in Huntsville. Indeed, Brent Stover, John Rothstein, Renee Montgomery, Wally Zerbiak as well. 78-71, and the Hilltoppers, John, are dancing for the first time since 2013.
And how about Steve Lutz? Year 1 at Western Kentucky, 1 year removed from taking Texas A&M Corpus Christi to the NCAA tournament, gets Western Kentucky to the field of 68. An incredible coaching job. The Hilltoppers finally break through in Conference USA.
Really talented team. Don McHenry was outstanding. Renee, we've been talking about the importance of guard play in a tournament-type situation like this when you have to play day after day after day, not a lot of prep time. You need a coach out there on the floor. He had 25 big points, and they didn't shoot the 3 well at all. 3 for 16. That's what got him through in the round yesterday, but they attacked the paint. They broke down that defense. And UTEP, valiant effort, but I think they might have been a little fatigued down the stretch of that one.
Yeah, and I mean, when you think about Western Kentucky, they came out the gate swinging in the beginning of the game, but they had 5 players in double-digit scoring. That's a hard team to guard when they're killing you from each position. I mean, you talked about Dom, Brandon Newman played great, but that was an all-around team effort.
3 straight for Steve Lutz, actually. He had the 2 in a row at A&M Corpus Christi and now Western Kentucky. Now, there's certain guys that just, for one reason or another, I mean, give him a ton of credit and give these players the buy-in factor as well.
I can say this knowing Steve Lutz for a long time. You look at somebody who was completely tutored and ready-made to be a head coach, worked for some terrific head coaches, Greg McDermott, Matt Painter, spent time at Creighton and Purdue, completely well-schooled. You felt when he was an assistant coach that he was more than ready to run his own program, and that is showing right now, again, in this element that we're in right now in college basketball. You have to almost operate like you're going to have to put together, especially at this level, a brand new team each and every year and coach that team. He has done that multiple times, and you look really elsewhere around college basketball. Isaac Mushila, who was on his team at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, is now a reserve for New Mexico. Trey Tennyson, who was on his team last year at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, is now one of the more underrated shooters in the Big 12. He transferred to TCU. He identified talent. He molded talent. Not only that, he coached that talent to multiple NCAA tournament berths.
Well, you just wait till this, because now I'm going to ask you about UTEP. Listen, this is a one-bid league. We knew we were getting into it. It's been more than a decade since this once proud program made the big dance. I mean, it's a heck of a season, but there's no parting gifts for a team like that.
What we're seeing right now throughout college basketball, Brent, is this. Because of the changes that we've seen to the postseason NIT, no Madison Square Garden for the semis, no automatic qualifiers if you win a regular season title. You were seeing teams across college basketball opt out of playing in the postseason NIT to get ready for the transfer portal. It's March Madness or bust.
Yes, it is. 78-71 Western Kentucky trophy presentation from Huntsville, and much, much more from here in New York. After the break, the celebration has just begun for the Hilltoppers. Western Kentucky wins it in Conference USA. Live for the trophy presentation, and Tiffany Blackman.
Thank you. Good evening, and congratulations to the 2024 Conference USA Men's Champion. For the first time, Western Kentucky.
Big Red!
I also want to take a moment to recognize the runner-up in UTEP. What a remarkable run they put together to get here, and what a season they had as well. And now, standing up here, joining me, is Conference USA Commissioner Judy McLeod to say a few words.
Yeah, on behalf of Conference USA, we'd just like to thank the City of Huntsville, the Huntsville and Madison County CVB, the Von Braun Center, Knight Eady, and the Huntsville Sports Commission. It's been a great week. The support, the hospitality has been tremendous, and we can't wait to come back next year. So thank you, Huntsville.
Let's bring in this guy right here, Don McHenry. You are the tournament MVP. 25 points you put up tonight to help lead this team. Don, can you speak to the resiliency of this group and how you all were able to get this done tonight?
Man, we just built for it, man. We deserve this, man. We deserve this, man. We deserve it. I'm proud of us, man. I want to thank God, man. It's a blessing.
I know how special this is for you, given the path you took to get here. You weren't heavily recruited out of high school. You go play D2 ball in Hawaii, and then you end up transferring to Western Kentucky. Why is this so special for you?
Man, I can't put it into words right now. Just got it off the ground, man. A different path, man. We bringing it back to Diddle, man. Shout out Western Kentucky, man. Let's go.
Congratulations, Don. Coach Steve Lutz, your team is going to the big dance. What does that feel like for you?
Well, I mean, there's no better feeling in the world other than probably having children. You know, when you go to the NCAA tournament, I mean, that's the pinnacle of college basketball. I mean, we have a chance to play for a national title here in a couple of days.
How will the adversity you all faced in this game and how well you responded to it help to lay the foundation for what you guys could possibly do in the tournament?
Well, you've got to give these guys credit. I mean, they tuned out all of the outside noises and they banded together. We lost a few games towards the end of the season. We had a couple tough calls towards the end of the season, and then they banded together and said, hey, you know what? We're going to come out here and we're going to guard for 3 straight days, and we're going to win this thing. And to their credit, they did it.
Congratulations, Coach. And now let's bring in Commissioner McLeod again to present the trophy and your ticket to the NCAA tournament. One more time, congratulations to the Conference USA champion, Western Kentucky. Let's hear it for them. Back to you, Brandon, in the studio.
Tiffany, thanks. Well done. Western Kentucky. The party will continue on into the night. It's coming back to Huntsville. Man, there's nothing better, I would think, than winning a conference title.
Yeah, and he did good because he said other than having kids, so I'm like, good dad, good dad.
That's it, yeah.
But those are those moments. I mean, even for us at UConn, somebody in here was like, oh, well, what does it matter to win the It matters because you want to get in the habit of winning. Winning is literally a habit. You get used to winning, then you refuse to lose. And he said, listen, we're built for it. I like that when he said we're built for it, we deserve this. That's a team that's probably had some long, hard practices. Whenever you've been in the gym and you feel like you're working harder than anybody else, you do feel like you deserve that championship. So kudos to them. You can tell they put in the work by how proud they are of winning the championship.
Don McHenry, 25 points and 9 of 16. They get 15 from Brandon Newman. Team effort, 7-point victory, conference tournament title.
Yeah, and winning a conference tournament, it's a lot of fun as a team because during the regular season there's so many practices to pretty much prepare for each game, a lot of scout team stuff, a lot of thinking and preparation. When you win a conference tournament title, it's just kind of like roll the balls out there and play. You got to rely on your instincts. You got to rely on your skills. It's not as much thinking. I think the coaches have to just trust their players to just go out there and get the job done. And when you accomplish something like this, like Western Kentucky, it's a credit to the talent and the players that they have on that team, just kind of figuring it out. That's how it is. They're in a tournament type scenario.
Well, another thing too, and I will kind of keep reiterating this, there is significantly more pressure now in these mid-major conference tournaments because this is the end of the road. There used to be other areas of runaway. Now there are other postseason tournaments out there that you can play in. But because of the changes that we have in this landscape, we are seeing all of this augmented. Now, I have to go back and look at everything today, but I believe it's 18 teams that won their regular season conference titles have not won their conference tournament. And I'll double check that and make sure.
I thought I saw 20.
I was going to say, the computer doesn't know it all.
20, but I could be wrong.
All right, I need to check with what I was tweeting the past 7 hours because, you know, all of a sudden the game.
I thought I saw 20.
Okay, fair enough. But whatever it is, it's a very, very high number.
Update that feed.
Yeah.
Update the feed. Somewhere between 18 and 20.
Over half of the leagues.
It speaks to college basketball and where we're at in 2024. And there are
Why did you have to do that? He just said he didn't know.
Well, I know. I just said I'm trying to help him out. You know, give him a little head start.
Can you name the teams?
No.
Oh! We got computer beat.
That's one. Arizona, that's two.
Okay.
Give me the break.
Okay, all right. After 15 years, I'll give him a break.
Inside College Basketball,
man.
Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. 30 minutes to wrap up Conference Championship Saturday. It begins next.